Hey everyone, welcome to today's video. I'm Jamie B. So in today's video, we are going to be doing a first impressions makeup look using the Kylie Jenner or Kylie Cosmetics and Jordan collab eyeshadow palette. So Kylie Jenner and her best friend Jordan did collab to do a complete collection, and I did only grab the eyeshadow palette. The rest of it just didn't really pull me to buy it. I have her Jordy liquid lipstick, but that's not part of this collection. It's a completely different collection that she did with all reds. So I created this look today that you see using this palette, and I will give you my thoughts and everything in the video. But before we start, go ahead and make sure you hit subscribe at the bottom of this video and the bell next to it if you're not already subscribed to my channel, so you can get notified when I do upload. I upload 3 days a week. It's Monday, Wednesday, and Friday at 5 p.m. Eastern time. Make sure you become part of the B family. And if you're already subscribed, welcome back. We missed you. And let's just get into today's video. Hi guys, I went ahead and I zoomed you on in so you could take a closer peep to the look I'm doing today. I am going to be using the Kyliexjordyn palette that they collabed on to be creating a look for you. I went ahead and I did my brows off camera as usual. So we are going to go in with this beautiful palette. The first color I'm going to go in is with Peru. If you guys hear me, I am sick. I'm getting actually worse than I was a couple videos ago. So if I sound crazy, that is why. I'm trying my hardest to kind of like sound like I'm not nasally, but I definitely am. So bear with me. I have my mirror here, and I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to add Peru all over the eye as our first transition color. I do love like this peachy orange color. That is a stunning color. I really like it, and it blended out pretty well. I will say there was a little bit of fallout, but that's to be expected. Again, it's a pressed matte. I think these are actual pressed powdered palette. Okay, so some of them do have a lot of pigment in it. It's probably the purple, but this one actually blended out really beautifully, and I am loving it. Alright, so I did both the eyes with the Peru color, and now I think I'm going to go in with Love You Bitch, which has a star to bleep out the B word, which I guess I did not do. Alright, so I'm going to take the Morphe 513 brush, and I'm just going to tap into this color right here. It's the darker purple. And I'm going to put that right in my crease and then blend it up a little bit. So I went ahead and I placed the darker purple in the crease of the eye and a little bit above, and now I'm going to smoke it out. But I will have to say that this dark purple actually had like no fallout whatsoever. Like if you look at the pan here and then you look at this pan, there was really like no fallout at all, and it placed pretty nicely, but it is just a bit patchy when I was trying to smoke it out just a little bit. So that's something to keep in mind. It does not have a lot of fallout, but it seems to be pressed very hard. So I have to really go in with my brush and kind of swirl it and swirl it and swirl it to get that color on there. And for being a dark color, it shouldn't be that hard. So that just tells me that that shade might have been pressed just a little bit too hard. So now what I'm going to do is I took a little bit on my MAC 221, and I'm going to go ahead and smoke that darker purple out. Alright, so now that I have smoked out that darker purple, I'm going to go back in with Peru and kind of blend that line so it is not as harsh. And I'm just taking that Morphe 441 brush again. I think I'm not going to dip into it and see if I can blend it like that first. If not, then I'll add the Peru color. Alright, so I will have to say that the dark purple, love you bitch, it's a little patchy. I have had a little bit of difficulty just kind of blending it out and getting that color to stay. So this one I'm not really a big fan of. I don't know if it's just the way that they pressed it, maybe like the lab messed up with it, but it's not doing it for me. I was able to finally get that color to build up and look good, but it did take quite a bit. So now I'm going in with my heart, and I'm actually going to put it, I think, all over the lid, and I'm going to kind of smoke that out into the darker purple. I have already, when I do my brows, I bring my concealer all the way down to the lid, and then I set it with my setting powder, so that way it's almost like a base or a eye primer, so I don't have to do that right now. So I'm taking, this is actually a Wet n Wild brush. They came out with it maybe a year or so ago. It was a whole collection, and of the collection, I think there were 2 of them that I actually liked. But this was $1, and I really like it for packing on matte colors. Ooh, okay, so that is really pigmented. And it does have just a little bit of fallout, which it's a very bright pressed pigment, so that is to definitely be expected. So let's see how this goes. Okay, so that color did pack on pretty nicely. It is a little bit patchy right here, so I'm going to try to go in with a little bit better of a brush and see if I can get a little bit more color to stay on. And so it's going to be my MAC 239 packing brush. Okay, so I was able to use the MAC brush and get that color to build up a little bit more on my lid. So now what I'm going to go in with is just a light blending brush, and this is the Morphe 505. It's pretty big, but I'm just going to kind of blend that light purple and the dark purple together so it's not such a harsh line. Alright, so I went ahead and I used the bigger brush to kind of smoke out the line in between the light purple and the dark purple, and I'm seriously having some issues with the shadow. It seems that when I go over it with a brush, it's kind of picking up that lighter purple. So I'm going to try to build it up again, but it is really starting to frustrate me because if you look here, I'll zoom in just a little bit. It's super, super patchy where my crease is. So I'm going to try to go in and deepen the light purple again on my lid and in my crease to see if I can get that color to build up. Alright, so I was able to build that color up just a little bit more on my lid. I'm not really sure if you can see it on camera because all the studio lights, but it is really patchy in several spots on my eye, and it's making it very hard to blend with it and to pack it on. Like, I just keep packing and packing, but there's only so much color like I can put on my eye before I'm just like, okay, I'm over it. So I'm going to move on to the next part, but these 2 purples, which is really frustrating because my heart is such a beautiful color. It isn't terrible, but again, like I said, it's very patchy. So this look it's not turning out very well for me. But the 2 purples, I don't like them at all. The Peru worked out really well. It went on so smooth and so pigmented. But it's like these purples are just not wanting to work. They're not blending well together. They're not sitting on my eye. They're patching. So I'm going to go in and I'm going to put some translucent not powder. I'm going to go put some translucent eye primer on my eye on the center because I'm going to put, I think, Marry Me on and just give it that pop of color. So I will put this on off camera and I'll be right back. Alright guys, so I went ahead and I put the eye primer on the middle of my eye. I'm going to do almost like a halo and just put that pop of shimmer on. So again, I'm going to go in with Marry Me. It is such a beautiful color, and all the troubles that I've had thus far, I'm really hoping that it doesn't turn out so bad because these 2 are really giving me some issues. I actually think instead, even though Marry Me looks really, really stunning, Wild Love kind of has like that purple reflect, but it's like duochrome. So one way it looks green and then one way it looks purple. So I think I'm actually going to go in with that one because I think it's going to look really good with the purple underneath it. So I will be going in with my very small packing brush. It's a Morphe M124. M124. If I could talk, that'd be great. So I'm going to spritz my brush with my setting spray. It is the Morphe one. And then I'm going to dip it into Wild Love and just pack it on where I put that eyeshadow primer. Alright guys, so I went in with Wild Love just a little bit, but I'm actually going to go to Marry Me. This just doesn't have the shine that I wanted it to. When it gets onto the purple, it almost looks powdery and not shimmery, so I'm not feeling it. So I am going to go in with the other eye and just lay that Wild Love down, and then I'm going to go over it with the Marry Me to give it a more shinier, shimmery effect. Alright, so we finally got that pop of color that I wanted. I am now going to go in with my heart again with just a itty bitty blending brush to smoke out the sides of the color that I just put on so it doesn't look like we just have our eyes split in three. This is going to be the Morphe M506. It's just a very itty bitty shading brush or blending brush, and I'm going to go ahead and blend the colors. I do have to say that the Marry Me, it's stunning. It's a very stunning, shimmery, beautiful shade, but it has a lot of fallout. I was getting it in my lashes. I could see it falling to my face. Like, I have glitter all over my cheeks. I'm gonna have to wipe it off. But Wild Love did not turn out so well. Like, it just wasn't. When I sit here and I swatch it on my hand, which I'll do for you, you can see how duochrome it is. And then I swatch it on my hand, and it's just as beautiful, but it just doesn't give me that shimmer that I want it to. And once I start to put it on there, look at that, it just kind of fades a little bit, so and turns more of that green grayish color than the actual, like when I put Marry Me on. Look at that. Oh my gosh. Okay, so you'll be able to see the difference here in the, well, if I could stick on one side, look at that. So it blends out nicely. It's still very shimmery, where this one turns almost like dark and gray, and the reflex of the purple basically disappear. So it just did not turn out well on my eye. So that is 3 shades in this palette that I really just am not a fan of. So let's see if I can blend this out and get it to look the way I want it to. So I just went ahead and I blended out the edges of the shimmery shade, and when I went in with that purple again, because it has so much fallout, I went to blend it and it like flung it across the silver, so it just kind of got all over it. I'm not having an easy time with this palette at all, and it's just kind of disappointing at this point. So I am going to hop off camera and put my face and my lashes on, and then I'll come back and finish the under eye and then let you know how I feel about this palette. I'll be back in just a minute. Alright guys, so I went ahead and I put on my full face of makeup, my highlighter, my blush, my foundation, and my lipstick. I did use, actually, since I'm doing a first impression, I used the KKW Beauty by Kylie Cosmetics. This is the one where she collabed with Kim. It was also in my Kylie Cosmetics haul, which I'll go ahead and link above so you can take a look at it. But this one is in Double Trouble, and it is the matte liquid lipstick. I used Main Bay, which was the gloss, and I think I've used the other one, which is Twinning. They are stunning. The pigmentation is stunning. The way they feel when I wear them is beautiful. So those were definitely a plus when it comes to like first impression or review on those items. But let's get back into what this video is really about. This eyeshadow palette. Okay, so while I was off camera and I was putting on my lashes and everything, I noticed that the color had basically just like dulled out almost. Like it wasn't as bright as it is right now. I had to actually put more of the My Heart on there, and it is patchy. Like it's starting to patch all over, and I honestly can tell you I cannot stand these two colors. They're just not working out for me. Now the Marry Me has lasted pretty well, and it didn't really give me any issues when I was touching it, putting my lashes on, but that purple I had to wind up going in, like I said, and just brightening it up a little bit because it had dulled out and the color was not as vibrant as it was when I first put it on. So now we're going to go with the under eye to finish up this look. We're going to take a small tapered blending brush, and I'm going to go in with 221, and I'm just going to smoke out that darker purple right under my eye. The darker purple, which is Love You Bitch. This one right here. I'm just really having a lot of issues with this dark color. It's not picking, like I'm twirling my brush in there, and it's really just not going onto my eye. It's very patchy. I have to go over and over and over and over to get that pigment, which I think is just a waste of anybody's time doing makeup, and no one has like 6 years to put on eyeshadow. So there's that. Okay, so now that I have that darker purple in, I'm going to try to go in with the My Heart and just give it a little bit of that lighter color and see how it looks. Alright, so I did go ahead and put My Heart down there, and it did pull out that color just a little bit more, but I did get some fallout, so I'm just going to wipe it away with my setting powder brush so it does not smear on my face or darken my look. I was going to go in the inner corner and pop on the Marry Me just to give it like a brighter color, but I actually think I'm going to use the highlighter that I used on my cheeks, which is the Becca Vanilla Quartz. I love these highlighters. I have almost every last one of them from Becca, and they are literally just hands down my favorite highlighters. I think they're beautiful. They're shiny. The only one I think I've ever had issues with was Opal, maybe. It's like all white, only simply because like for me it just was too, it gave it a gray cast on my face. So I really do like this Vanilla Quartz because it is a lighter one, but it has a little hint of like golden yellow. So I just thought that Marry Me would be just way too much because we do have that pop of shimmer on our lid. We don't want to overdo or take away from that. So I'm just kind of popping in just a little bit to kind of lighten up here, and it's mixing with the fallout from My Heart. So it's making it look a little bit pink, which I don't know if you can tell with all the studio lights. And that's another thing, is like, it's hard to really show you guys when I talk about like patching and stuff like that, because the studio lights and everything like that kind of take away from that quality of the makeup. So trust me when I tell you, this girl is patchy. Like some serious problems going on with this shadow. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to put my mascara on my lower lash line, and we'll be right back to talk about this eyeshadow palette. Alright guys, so I went ahead and I put the mascara on my lower lash line. Let's talk about this palette. So the only colors that I seem to not have any issues with, first impression wise, because I didn't use the whole palette, is Marry Me and Peru. Peru blended out perfectly. It was pigmented, it was beautiful, and I'm looking and I can see that like hint of orange smoked out on the top. However, Wild Love, Love You Bitch, and My Heart are literally the worst shadows I've probably used from Kylie, like, ever. I have, like I've said in previous videos, almost every last one of this girl's palettes, and this one has to be hands down one of the ones that I don't like, I dislike the most. I do really dislike the Storm palettes that she did, but this one definitely comes in third. I think that these other colors are beautiful, and I'm hoping that because they are simply just regular shimmers. They're not duochrome. They have a lot of fallout that they're not going to give a lot of trouble. So I have here, I have Loyal. I have Don't Ever Leave Me. And then I have Ride or Die. So again, it has a lot of fallout. They're very beautiful. These are very shimmery, so I don't think that they're going to give you any trouble. But my fear is that these other mattes are really not going to work out the way that I want them to. So we're going to go in with, yeah, so that matte was kind of patchy. That one's okay. So Soulmate is okay. Sister's kind of patchy. Ooh, and then True Love actually turned out really nice, which is that matte with a little bit of glitter reflex in it. It is pretty, but Soulmate is definitely super patchy, was that cool tone transition color. And then you have Sister, which is a little bit patchy too. So that, I feel like this palette is really a mix of like great shadows and shit shadows. Like, it's not even like, oh my goodness, semi not okay. They're just not, they're not great. If you're gonna get one of her palettes, I'm gonna have to say pass on this one. For me, it's not worth the money to have half of the palette work and the other half not really work out well. The purples did not blend. The dark purple was not pigmented, and as soon as I started to blend it out, it would patch out, and it just turned out to be a mess, and it was so hard to actually get the look. I mean, I do like this look, but I don't think that it should have taken me as long or as much work, because had I grabbed another palette that I have, which like the James Charles palette that has like the purples and the oranges, it would have taken me half the time to put those colors on and blend them out, because they blend well, they're pigmented, and they don't patch off. I cannot stand a shadow that patches off, and I just think that if you guys buy this, you're not going to be very happy. So if there's another palette on her site that you would prefer, I would grab that one and not this one. So that is it for today's video. I really hope you like this look and my first impression on the Kyliexjordyn palette. And as always, make sure you give this video a big thumbs up if you liked it, and I'll see you on the next one. Bye!